Okay, we've got a new project today. Apparently, when I dragged our air conditioner out of storage, I discovered it had a ton of mold in it. But instead of spending $200 or $300 to replace it, I'm going to see if I can take it apart and clean it. Okay, let's see if these wings come off. Yep.
They do.
Oh yeah, we got to pop these out too.
Yes, we do.
Me.
You got a spider web on your hand.
Okay, I need to take the back off of this, and I'm seeing it's got screws down along the bottom, and I think I felt some on the back. Let's see here. Yeah, sure enough, there's some on the back here.
Some on the back.
Okay, it would appear we have some screws holding on the cowl there and over there, and I believe the cowl needs to come off because it's kind of blocking the back from coming off.
Yep.
Okay, so I've disassembled the screws for the control here, and I thought for a moment that the face had to go with the back, but I discovered that the face actually just poppled into the back. So now I'm hoping, yep, we can get the back off of here. Okay, now that I have the back removed and the front panel removed, I'll just leave this hang for now. It looks like to get into this styrofoam box, because there's a fan blade in there I need to detach, it looks like it breaks into two pieces right here. So I'm going to start cutting through that with the knife and see if we can get this to separate. Yep. And now we really get to see the mold. Oh my, look at all that. The next part of this looks like it separates right here. So I'm going to head and cut the foam tape on each side, and this just seems to pull right out. There we get to see a lot more of the mold. Okay, so here we have the blower fan, and yeah, it's probably covered in mold too. I'll need to get all that cleaned up, and then there's the bottom. It'll need cleaned up. I've gone ahead and I've pulled this motor assembly out of here. It's got the fan on the back for the front radiator, and it's got a fan on the back here for this one, but there was just a lot of filth in here I had to get out of here. So I had to pull this out, but it's permanently wired in, so it's going to have to stay attached. But at least this will give me better access to cleaning out the mold. Okay, since I went ahead and took the motor out, this just had a couple of screws holding this whole thing in, and it was the only thing trapping this in, so I figured, why not go ahead and just pull out the last piece of styrofoam. So now I have full access to everything I need to clean, including all the junk in the bottom of the tray here. Okay, I just got done blowing everything out with the air compressor. So now I think I'm going to go ahead and take off the fan blade there so I can get it cleaned. Let's try and clean one of these. Actually, it almost looks like it needs a soak. Let's just let that soak. Same with that. Yep, so 3 gallons of hot water, about a tablespoon of dish soap, and about a half cup to a cup of bleach. Let's see, I might as well try and clean this while we're waiting on those to soak.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to the camera. I don't know who you're talking to. I'll tell you what, that mold comes right off of there, doesn't it? Okay, since I'm working with bleach water here, I don't like leaving my hands in it too long. So I got a bowl of fresh water here to rinse off with every so often. But I thought I'd show you the progress on this can because this is impressive. This thing is actually almost a clear plastic. I didn't even know that when I pulled it out. I thought it would have been black. Okay, I'm working on the first panel here, and it's looking like it's not doing too bad. It might take a bit of soaking though to get all of it out of here. Okay, I took these outside and rinsed them off with the garden hose to get in the bleach off of them. Anyway, I'm just going to let them sit here overnight to dry. Well, I've gotten the foam pieces as clean as I'm going to get them, so now it's time to start putting this thing back together. Okay, so I believe the first thing I did was remove this, so this has to go back in. I believe 2 screws go in here. And I think these were the screws that I took out. Okay, next we got to put in the fan. See, that is keyed. So we have washer, split washer, and the nut. Now let's put another piece of foam in here. And let's just see if that fan blade still spins. That should spin freely, and it is. Okay. Now the manufacturer used this single-sided foam tape to hold everything together, but I don't have any single-sided foam tape. What I do have is some double-sided foam tape. I think I'm going to use this, but I'm just going to leave the paper on the one side. So let's cut away enough of this that we can fit that on the seam. Ooh, time to put the front face on. So it has 4 screws. I've got those ready and waiting. But first, I got to feed this up through here. I want to make sure not to push it out the back end there. Let's see, this one goes there. There it is. Let's see, here's the next one. And he goes right there. Let's see, now we need the 4 tiny screws to reattach this. Now let's put these louver things in. Let's see, that fits into there. On this side, we have to kind of pry it into place. There we go. Okay. Now this piece is still wet because I forgot to wash it, so I just did that. But it just gets pushed down into these slots, and then I got to put the filter in, which I also remembered to clean. And then that'll be done. But for now, let's put the case on it. Okay. Now it's time to put the rail on the top here, and it has 4 screws. So let's do this. Now let's put on this wing thing. Let's see, it just has a tiny little T-slot. And there we go. Okay, this apparently is the last piece, so if this works as I expect it to, it should just push right down in there and close. Okay, let's give it a test. Okay, I have not tried this yet, so let's go ahead and hit the reset button. And you can see I've got my temperature probe plugged in here. What is it reading? 79, 78, somewhere in there? It'll take a moment before it turns on the cooling, so we'll have to let it sit for a moment. It took a few minutes, but it's finally turned on the cooling elements, and I can even feel it's cooler. And you can see it's now down to 64 inside the louvers here. Okay, I believe that is a positive test, so now it's time to lug this thing back into the house. So here we are. It's been about 4 weeks installed, and I still don't see any signs of mold down in there. So, well, there's a few dead bugs I see, but no mold. So I'm going to say that it must have been how we stored it last year. So this project is over. Anyway, thank you for watching.